but we're in it for the ride. So yes, this meeting is now being recorded. Welcome to the 2020, what would have been NPC annual business meeting. Welcome everyone. As you can familiarize yourself with the controls and enjoy the view, there's the chat that is going on, and Rob Schiffer is joining us from Tallahassee, as is Ted. So it's really great. Excellent. And Lee's going to be at home for NPC. Wonderful. Work it, girl. Work it from home. Okay, so we've got an agenda that I'm going to try to keep up on. And so we've got a lot of news to share. First off, our 2019 annual report and 2020 work plan. We've posted on our website, and hopefully you've had a chance to read it over. We're probably going to have a very different budget next year. We're going to have the conversation about how to deal with that within the board. Essentially, while we will likely have a large pot of money this year, I think it's probably best for us to be very conservative in expecting membership to drop in the next coming year. I think a 20% drop in our membership will likely be the normal. Unfortunately, it's really crappy, but that's the reality. And so I think we'll want to just hold off on any expenditures, not that we have anywhere to spend the money really, but holding over that money as a reserve for the years to come that will likely not be as bountiful, unfortunately. But that's really a lot of the items regarding the annual report and work plan. I don't want to bore you with something you can read online. Now we want to get into something really exciting though. Okay, I need to call up our 3 winners. So we had an amazing group of students that were part of this year's competition, and they gave us some excellent papers such that we had a tie for 2nd place. And so it was just like literally fractions of a point difference between the 3 of them. So I can't tell you how much I'm excited and honored to have the ability to have all 3 of them join us today, because we never get our students all in the same room. So it's very exciting. So the first one is going to, drum roll please, Sam Speroni. He is the proud recipient of our 2nd place for his wonderful project, financing the landside access modernization project at LAX. And here's his certificate. Take it, take it, take it. There it is, handoff. So I'm gonna unmute Sam for a couple of minutes and unmute. I'm not able to unmute. There you go.
I am unmuted, yes. I didn't know that Zoom had that function, and students are spending a lot of time on Zoom right now. Gabriella, just an overview, right? So I'm, as Gabriella said, I'm Sam Speroni. I'm a master's in urban planning student at UCLA, focusing in transportation. And in the coming years, I'll be staying at UCLA for a PhD in transportation. The paper that I wrote and submitted to this competition is outside of my usual scope of work. Typically, my research focuses on the transportation of kids to school. I'm a former teacher, and that's sort of what brings about that interest for me. So it's likely that my dissertation will not match this. But this particular paper was written for a transportation finance class that Marty Wax taught, who some of you I'm sure know. And it ultimately, I think it will be Marty's last class that he ever teaches, although I know he's said this many, many times. But anyway, I looked at the landside access modernization plan at LAX and how that was financed through a sort of interconnected series of public-private partnerships where the success of different phases of the project are leveraged against each other, which it will hopefully lead this to being a successful partnership, as opposed to where a lot of PPPs have gone in the past. Because, so for example, in this case, if one of the parking structures isn't completed on time, then that partner is responsible for the costs incurred by the other projects. So it is an area of interest, and certainly being in school in Los Angeles and trying to go to LAX for flights will spike an interest in figuring out how to make that more efficient for everyone.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Sam.
Thank you all. I'm very grateful for this. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for your great work. Let's do a big round of applause for Sam.
Thank you all.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so moving right along to our tied second place goes to our wonderful, let me find her on my screen. There she is. Okay. Miss Catherine, and I'm going to say the wrong pronunciation, Stegmeyer. Best I could do, girl. Sorry. Also from UCLA. And she did this incredible paper called Sidewalk Maintenance and Neighborhood Income Across Los Angeles, California. And here's the handoff. Here's the handoff. Woohoo! Excellent. All right. So I'm going to unmute you. And Catherine, please share.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for this opportunity. But yeah, I am also a Master of Urban Planning student at UCLA along with Sam. And I wrote this paper for Evie Blumenberg's class, Professor Blumenberg's class on transportation and economic outcomes. And I was specifically looking at in the situation for Los Angeles of sidewalk maintenance and upkeep following the settlement of a disability class action lawsuit that the city of Los Angeles settled in 2015, 2016, that requires them to pay about over $30 million over the course of a 30-year period to fix their sidewalk infrastructure. And so I was looking at how this was playing out 2 years into the settlement period. So I was looking at how in randomly selected, stratified by class, or stratified by income block groups had the quality of their sidewalks, and using scales that the city had developed to rank sidewalks for their the programs that they had put in place to respond to this settlement. And it's a topic that I'm very interested in, like walkability and how that affects people of different class standings, and specifically along the lines of disability that are often kind of left out of the literature. And so I thought that this was a really interesting opportunity to get to look into that and kind of make a case that maybe the city needs to be looking at socioeconomic status a bit more when implementing these programs. So that was kind of the reasoning behind my project.
Oh, great. Okay, a big round of applause for Miss Catherine S., because I can't say her last name, but great job. Stegermeyer. Excellent. I'm learning so much today. Go Bruins. Okay. So with that, I'm going to mute you. And then also now moving on to our big first place winner, who just blew me out of the water with his incredible paper. And I really cannot wait for you all to dive into this incredible work. Our first place winner for the 2020 student paper competition goes to Louis Alcorn. I can't say anyone's name today. Louis Alcorn from the University of Texas at Austin. I'm not holding that against you. And his topic was the informal transit and women's travel issues in the global South. Okay, ready for the big handoff? Here we go. Woohoo! There he is. Excellent. Okay, let me unmute you.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, there you go.
Okay,
excellent.
great.
Congratulations.
So yes, thank you, Gabriella, for introducing me. I'm a graduate student in Community and Regional Planning and Transportation Engineering at University of Texas at Austin, just finishing up 3 years in a dual master's program here. My thesis research focused on informal jitney-based transit in Lagos, Nigeria. And I actually, so last fall, I took a women's travel issues course with Sandy Rosenblum, the past editor of JAPA, so topically relevant here. And I wrote the paper in that class, and it specifically kind of extends my thesis research to other global contexts, other countries that have a lot of informal transit, which is much of the global south, with a specific focus on women's travel issues and how women are getting around in these places, and whether informal or more formalized modes like BRT or rail are actually serving those needs better. So I want to thank her for Dr. Rosenblum for nominating me, and thank y'all on the committee as well for selecting my paper.
Big round of applause, holding it down in Texas. Great job, Louis. Great job.
Thank you.
Really, really top-notch work. Great job. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on my schedule as quickly as much and possible as I can. So moving on to our member survey, we got about 300 responses this year, and I'm probably sounding like a broken record now, but honestly, that is where the board gets our inspiration for how to best serve the members. And one of the suggestions that we took to heart very much this year in the comments and suggestions was a YouTube channel. And so lo and behold, we have a YouTube channel now. Jamie rocked it out, and all of you are going to be featured on it at some point, is my desire, in one form or another. So your spotlight will come, trust me, it always does. So that's kind of a big, great positive, and I can't thank you all for participating in that, and also for being so great about pushing our agenda and what we provide membership. Going forward, this is a really big thing that we're going to need from you in terms of how to move forward in a virtual capacity, where we know that our normal will never be what we knew it to be. So the innovation that can bring the division forward is really your innovation. And you know, we're able to win APA awards because of the suggestions that you make to us. And I read every period of that Excel sheet and every cell 3 or 4 times, and I think about how we can bring that idea into fruition, if not maybe now, setting the groundwork for it. So that's my update on the member survey. APA Home is happening. I hope you're all registered. I hope you can all make it. I'm excited to hear your feedback on that. Maybe Brian will set up a Google survey after home is over, so that we can get your thoughts on what worked, what didn't work, and what you think are ways that we can make it better going forward. For your information, we're planning on having Boston actually happen in the live version. But we're also very conscientious of the fact that we may have to cut it shorter or smaller in some capacity. Maybe the mobile workshops aren't going to happen. They're still working that out, but right now we're still committed to doing that. And in terms of nomination or submitting panels for 2021, the window is usually June. It has been June in the past. They're pushing that forward probably till July, maybe August. They are going to be carrying over some of the panels that didn't happen at NPC20 or NPC at home. So if your panel is selected, you'll be contacted directly by, I think, probably Kimberly Jacques, who's the Director of Communications. So we should get a heads up, but maybe not. the timetable going forward is going to be very tentative, and so we're going to need everyone to be very flexible in terms of communications going forward, because we're not willing to risk anyone's health or safety for any reason, and so we're just going to have to be flexible if things change. So thank you for that. And then lastly, but not leastly, our day of service is still going to happen in Houston. It's just not going to happen with all of us. Unfortunately, we've had, this little pandemic thing get in the way. So we're retooling the same event where we're still going to have locals or people that are reasonably local attend on a specific date in the future when it's safe and do the mural project. We still have enough money and a lot of city support to conduct at least part of the actual list of projects. And I think we have enough money to also do the community garden. So the local host committee will be probably joining that event and helping with the volunteering. Whatever work isn't done through the volunteers, the Up Art Studio partners and hires veterans to help them do the actual manual labor. So it's kind of a major win-win for everyone involved. So while we don't have any specific details about when it will happen, we know we're going to do it when it's safe, and we'll keep you informed. So before I move on, I want everyone to turn on their video for a group photo. Everybody turn them on. Do your hair, turn them on, make sure, yep. Flip it, reverse it, get it all good. We're gonna do a photo. Shake it out, girl, shake it out. Okay, excellent. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now everybody scream. Woo! Okay, all right, moving on. We're gonna go to our next report, which is Brian.
Hello, can everybody hear me? I'll assume that's a yes because I see some thumbs up. Okay, every second year, the AICP College of Fellows accepts applications for new members. That happens in the fall of odd-numbered years, and so we were working on that last fall. We ended up nominating 3 of our members for FAICP, and I'm happy to say that 2 of them have been inducted into the College of Fellows, and they're both joining us tonight. So I wanted to, one by one, toss first to Cynthia Albright, simply by dint of her name starts with A. So Cynthia, why don't you go ahead and take it away. Anything you want to say to the division is great. I think she must be muted. Cynthia.
Cynthia, I think you need to unmute. It gets me all the time.
Yeah, I know. Oh, well. Well, Cynthia is in the Nevada chapter. She's with Stantec, and I didn't want to take up a lot of time with introductions. I wanted to let the
Hey, Brian,
FAICP folks have the time to talk.
Brian, why don't we let our other one go until Cynthia works it out?
Yeah, okay. Our other person who was awarded, who is now a FAICP member, is Susan Wood. So without any further ado, Susan, hello. You have anything to say to the division?
Yes, absolutely. First of all, thank you very much. This is the biggest honor of my career. It may be the biggest honor I've received ever. I was absolutely honored that the Transportation Division selected me to sponsor for FAICP. I mean, that first and foremost is big. And then to be so fortunate as to be selected and be inducted is just unbelievable. I'm proud to be a member of the Transportation Division. I'm proud to be in transportation and planning. I'm just so very fortunate, and thank you all so much. Thank you, Gabby, and thank you, Brian Laverty, for all of your help. Without you, this would not have happened. So thank you very much, all of you.
And I'll just say that Susan's being modest, because in the FAIC process, 90% of the work is done by the person who's being nominated. There was work on our end as well, but Susan, you did the work, and Cynthia, you did the work. And I also want to recognize several members of the division who volunteered to act as mentors to our nominees. Particularly, I wanted to mention Cynthia Hoyle and Maureen Paste Araujo, who really helped shepherd along both Cynthia and Susan through the process, and they helped out a whole lot. Gabby, did you want to add anything else on that, or should I go ahead and move on to the raffle winners?
No, I cannot tell you how incredibly competitive this is, and we only have had 2 women inducted from transportation ever. So we only have 13 total, and now we have 15 and 4 women, which is rad. So just a huge round of applause for them, because we can't have their big ball. But yes, congratulations. Did we get the sound worked out since?
I don't know. I haven't seen a reply from Cynthia.
No, it doesn't look like she's been able to get the sound. Oh, I'm so bummed.
I did want to add on to what you just said, though, and recognize one more person, because we did have another member of the division who got FAICP this year, not who we didn't nominate, but was nominated, I think, by her home chapter, and that was Alyssa Torres. So I wanted to recognize her as well.
Yes.
So I'll briefly mention the raffle winners. Every year we keep track throughout the year of members of the division who volunteer, who provide their time either by helping with events at NPC, or by helping with webinars, or helping be judges in the student paper competition, or a lot of other ways as well. And towards the end of the year, we pull names from a virtual hat and award 1 free registration to National Planning Conference, or a state conference if the person isn't going to NPC. Both, or I should say 2, 1 to a regular member and 1 to a student member. And this year, our regular member who won that raffle was Holly Chase. Unfortunately, I don't think she's able to be on the call today, but she is a help in a lot of things. She's a chapter liaison and helps out on a lot of initiatives all the time as well. And also, Heather Croney was our student volunteer who won. Heather, I do think you're on, if you want to say hello real quick.
Yes, unmuted. It would have definitely been great to have gone to NPC20, but if it goes through, I will look forward to the Central Florida APA conference. We're actually hosting it in Orlando this year. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to volunteer with you guys.
And I think that's a bit of a segue, since I mentioned chapter liaisons, to segue on to Edson now.
Hey everyone, it's good to see everyone on this call. My name is Edson Ibanez, Chapter Liaison Coordinator. Something that we did here with the Chapter Liaisons is we have quarterly calls. And one of our quarterly calls last year, a few Chapter Liaisons asked to have a orientation kind of breaking down the rules and responsibilities of the division. And so this year in March, last month, we were able to host our first ever orientation that was hosted with the Ohio chapter webinar that we broke down just kind of the roles and responsibilities. We had close to 300 people actually attend the webinar and kind of ask some questions, try to understand how this division specifically works. And So Gabby was on the call, myself was on the call, and felt like it was really successful. Part of that is we're hearing what the chapter liaison and what everyone is asking for is they just want to understand more about the division. So thank you so much for those that requested that. Just to give a quick update, we currently have 71 positions for chapter liaisons. So we want to create that local presence in the chapters. And of the 71, we only have 25 that are actually filled. So we have a lot of vacancies and spots that if people are interested in becoming a chapter liaison, being that voice, being that local representation, specifically at your chapter conferences, please let me know. You can send me an email and I can talk to you about the roles and responsibilities of a chapter liaison. And I just wanted to highlight a few different events that happen throughout the year. We do have a chapter liaison fund where we give chapter liaisons a little bit of cash to help kind of promote the division and providing swag at local conferences or helping like put on a reception or a mixture or help with a luncheon. And I know I saw Robert on the call. I know he did something specifically last year in the Texas chapter and Waco, Texas, when they had their chapter conference, and he was able to host a reception. We were able to provide some funds to help with that. So any innovative ideas that some of the chapter liaisons will have will help either be a sponsor or help with some sort of mixture. So we're here to help. We're here to provide some small amounts of funds to help promote the division, whether that's a mixture or some sort of reception or help with some other type of similar type of event. So just wanted to provide that quick update to everyone.
Great, thank you, Edson. So I have been able through the magic of phone to get Cynthia on my phone. There's this wonderful echo happening, isn't there? But I'm going to turn it on. And so, Cynthia, you can now be on the call.
Well, I'll make it brief since you're going to hear it in duplicate. I would first like to say, oh my God, I'm going to walk out of the room. I'll just say thank you so much to Gabriella and to Brian and Cynthia Hoyle, who really helped make all that happen. I could not have prepared the application materials and all of the requested information that APA wanted without all of their generous support. So thank you for that. And just like my colleague Susan, I'm deeply honored and never in my wildest imagination thought that all of my body of work for the last 30 years would be considered worthy of a nomination and an acceptance into the College of Fellows. So thank you so very much, all of you, and I'm honored to be among you. Thank you.
Okay, I'm hanging up. Thank you so much, Susan. And honestly, it's an honor for us because in the time that I've been in divisions, I've never known anyone that's made it through the process. So it's just a really big deal. And I need to tell you, it's like finding a four-leaf clover. When you get to see it, you have to stop and admire it. Okay, so we're gonna move on to our outreach, right? Yes, no, we're on Madhu, or we're doing our policy reports. Take it away.
Sure, thank you. Good afternoon, good evening all. I'll start with,
hello.
Hello.
Hi, this is Gloria Jeff. I wanted to pose a question for Edison before we moved on. Is that possible?
Can we hold the questions into the end, or if you want to chat them into the chat box, Gloria?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll start with our first item. That's the, although it says Policy Action Committee, I should have caught that up. It's Planners Advisory Council. The Transportation Planning Division has a group of planners available to provide advisory kind of services to various cities, municipalities, DOTs, or any research elements. Every year we do multiple activities. And in the last year, I just wanted to highlight few of them. We actually supported or provided information to a law firm called Law 360 that requested our thoughts and subject matter expertise on future of congestion pricing in United States. So we had one of our member, Vic Blanton, provide his insight on this topic to the law firm. This happened in July timeframe of 2019. After that, we had one request from TRB requesting a help of how the state of aviation planning practice is dealt in the whole US. I was lucky enough to have some exposure into that realm. So I provided some thoughts and guidance to TRB on how various states are in the process of planning aviation planning and how they are incorporating into their statewide plans on the statewide planning documents. We also had one more request from Lawrence Fabian about M50. I believe that's something that is dealing with called a PRT. It's a Personal Rapid Transit System. He was asking about our stance and support on that. So we were able to provide some thoughts and guidelines on how what is our overall surface planning transportation plan policy is.
And really quickly, Madhu, just as because you brought him up, for all of you that knew Lawrence, we lost him in March, and I just wanted to share that he was one of the founders of this division, and it's a big loss for transportation everywhere and for APA. So maybe Madhu, you can do a quick update on the webinars now.
Sure. I still have one more quick activity where we took off from the Planners Advisory Council. That's basically we were able to arrange few members to provide a peer review of a project happening in Houston. Although it wasn't completed or went as much as we thought it should be, for various reasons, that was at least another activity we did took over. The next items are the webinars. Last year, we were able to pull together 4 webinars throughout the year, and we are planning to do something in the similar nature also for this year. Quickly, just pulling out to see what the webinars are. Sorry, I don't have that right in front of me. But this year so far, we have put together in a webinar that discusses about the Transportation Planning Division and what the activities are. We also had another webinar planned for May that is going to discuss about micromobility in the US. We are also working on another webinar to discuss about resiliency practices in more focused in Texas. With that, I will go to my next item, which is the big item I have in the agenda. It is the announcement of our 2020 Transportation Magazine publication. Every 2 years, we put together this magazine, collect articles from various authors, various providers, and put together that great document that Gabby is showing on the screen. I'm glad she was able to take a print of the cover page. We will be sending these links or posting these in the subsequent week, or gonna need Jamie's help on that a little bit. He already has a link though. In that pulling together, I just wanted to call out a few folks who have really helped us pull together this document. Just give my shout out to Mark Bennett, who is the editor of this entire document, and Kat Callahan, who was the graphical editor of this document. You would see the great work went into play and see an amazing and awesome document that came out. We also had so much support from a lot of you. Some of you are in the call as well. So can quickly do a shout out. Our editing team included Tia Boyd, Jordan Frede, Amelia Mansfield, Rosemary McCarran, Alexander Nelson, Dara Osher, Geraldine Thor, Randy Rourke, Katie Rooney, Rob Schiffer, Finn Vigeland, Brandon Watson, and Yu Zhang. Our additional graphic designers included Alex Gao and Sarah Langtakan. So a big shout out and kudos to the entire team who pulled this up and made it possibility. Great work all.
Great job, everyone. Congratulations. And as an added bonus, because our student paper winners have been so stellar, they don't know this, but there's a second chapter, volume 2 of the student papers, because they're so amazing. And we're super excited to add them as a separate volume to our 2020 SOTP. So great job, everyone. We're running a little behind in all of our celebrations. So Jamie, quick on the virtual happy hour, etc. Jamie, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I think I'm stressing out my computer doing the Facebook Live and the video share. So we're here and we're good. So as Gabriella said, we're trying to adapt to this sort of new normal, and we have the YouTube channel up. There was some. I appreciate it being posted, but we'll probably reach out to all of you soon, because we've been up for over 30 days, but we don't have 100 subscribers. And once we get 100 subscribers, we can get that vanity custom URL. So we'll make that big push. There was a virtual happy hour that will go up on that YouTube, where we talked a little bit about, what transportation planners are facing, but it'll be up on that YouTube channel shortly. And that was great. We had a wonderful turnout, and it sounds like something all the attendees and others want to do on a monthly basis. So we can wait to see that, more to come. And we're going to continue this virtual engagement. I think we've gotten very familiar with Zoom now that we have a Zoom account. So we'll continue to think of programming on that. And one exciting thing that's coming up on Thursday, if you've not heard, but the cast of NBC's beloved comedy Parks and Rec is returning to Pawnee, Indiana for a one-time special amid the coronavirus pandemic. So it's going to be at 8:30 p.m. It sounds like it's going to be at 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and then 3 hours later, 8:30 p.m. on the West Coast. But what we're really excited about is we're going to try to do a live tweet. We're going to try to rope in the rest of the APA community. So keep a lookout for that, and treat yourself. That's all I got.
Excellent. We're super excited. Thank you. For one good thing that came out of this pandemic is we get Parks and Rec back, at least for one night. Excellent. Okay. Wonderful. Moving right along to Miss Mackenzie.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to see you all in person, or virtually, I guess. A couple of quick updates, and I'll keep them brief. But the first is we want to talk about the winners of our small grants program. We had such excellent candidates. Wow, TPD is just rocking this year, but we had such excellent candidates that we actually ended up having a first place winner as well as a three-way tie for the second place. So thank you all for your hard work. The first place winner was for an innovative public engagement project titled Santa Fe Street Stories by Eric Ayun. And I am so sorry if I mispronounce. I think I'm following in Gabby's footsteps there. But we really love the work. Our second place, at least I'm in good company there. The second place winners were a community forum and the subsequent summary, report, and policy recommendations by the Fairmont Indigo Corridor Network. And the next tie, wow, we had so many great people. The next tie was hosting and broadcasting the new Smart Street Playbook. And the final was the City of Carbondale wanted to offer free Cycling Academy courses to 10 of their residents. Now that was canceled because of the pandemic, but we wanted to mention them anyways because they did the great work, and this is in no way on them. They are still all-stars. So thank you all for that excellent work and for continuing to make the division look so good. We're happy to support you through our grants program. Last quick update from me is that we have e-blasts that come out every month. We send those to our full membership, and we're pleased to have you all. And we also do periodic special editions for things like bylaw revisions and our annual survey, etc. Just give you a little sneak peek. Overall, our e-blasts have an open rate of 24.8%, which is pretty good. And our special edition e-blasts, we really know that you all need that information, and it shows because 37.5% of our audience opened those and engaged. So thank you all for keeping up with what we're doing. We try to keep up with what you're doing through things like this, and look forward to getting some more e-blasts out to you soon. That's it.
Miss Shelby, would you give us your report, please?
Yep, so my report, the treasurer's report is pretty brief. I think you heard throughout the meeting today a lot of the expenditures that we make as a division, student paper winners, sponsoring the FAICP nominations, doing chapter liaison events, small grants, and the member raffle were all good services we were able to provide and rewards we were able to provide for members this year. And our source of revenue is member dues. So thank you all for being members and you know, funding the good work that the division is doing. We've also been operating as kind of the banking arm for the day of service as the sponsoring division for that event. So tracking the contributions to that as well. So we are in good financial standing as a division, and that's all I have to report.
Thanks, Shelby. Great job keeping us financially stable. So I forgot to mention that we do have elections this year. And so this is my last year as chair. I made it, and all of you are still alive. So that's a testament to how great the people on this board are and dedicated. So big thanks to them. It's been an honor to be your chair. It's been an experience that was a roller coaster and just so much opportunity to learn. So if you're interested in running, I think the portal's still open, but I'm not sure how the timeframes might change because of COVID. So we'll get that information out to you shortly. And so again, thank you for this time as being your chair. We're going to take questions now. I think Gloria was the first one with her hand up. Gloria, do you want to unmute yourself? I think I unmuted you.
Yes, you did. Edison and I had a private chat, so my first issue is up, but I was just typing an email to everybody. In 2021, the Transportation Research Board Committee on Environmental Justice and Transportation Equity will be sponsoring a 3-day conference on transportation equity in Washington, D.C. in June. Just a save the date notice to folks. There should be a call for papers out in the next 8 weeks. So look for it. We look forward to contributions from this group as well. If you have any questions, drop me an email at g_jeff@msn.com. It's the email address you guys should have for me as a member of the division. I'm done.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing. And just to clarify, that's June of next year.
Correct.
Great, thank you. Do we have any other questions? I don't see any in the chat other than big praises to our awesome members who we love and make us so great. I see none. I see babies. I love babies. Look at that little one. Super cute. Yeah, okay, well, awesome. Look at us on time, even though I usually go over. So thank you all. We're probably going to be living in a much more Zoom-rific world, and we're all going to be pros at this. by the time we see each other in the 3D version. So everyone stay safe and stay healthy. And I really hope to see you in real life. Have a good one. Thanks for joining.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Bye.